Of course, everyone has a right to come forward, and we applaud their bravery and courage in doing so. But allegations must still be scrutinized and verified. I understand that there are moments of intense political pressure and media frenzy that cause a rush to judgment. But that is not right. It's not fair or sustainable. The Attorney General's report was designed to be a political firecracker on an explosive topic, and it worked. There was a political and media stampede. But the truth will out in time.
On his last day in office, disgraced New York Governor Andrew Cuomo did a final pushback against the state attorney general's sexual harassment investigation that led to his resignation, while taking a few shots at the far left and a victory lap for his successes. I mean, this is classic Cuomo. Here to react to it all, New York City Council member Joe Borelli. First of all, sir, little golf clap. You called it. You nailed it. I don't even know how far back now, maybe about a year or so. I think you told us at least, maybe it was last fall, when the nursing home thing came out and then the sexual harassment scandal got up and running, you said he wasn't going to last. You were correct, and you're a man who's going to be collecting a expensive fancy dinner here in New York, courtesy of yours truly. But tell me this, I mean, any surprises from Cuomo in his last day?
That speech was absurd. I mean, the fact that he's trying to say the Attorney General's report was a political firecracker when it was he who actually demanded the investigation because of not one, but eventually 11 now in the AG's report, right? I mean, there wasn't even 11 people to begin with. The Attorney General's investigation actually uncovered more women that we didn't even know about. And they uncovered women and did a 168-page report. They interviewed 100 hours of witnesses. They took into account Andrew Cuomo's own defense and his own statements and his own accounts of his actions, and they determined that he was in fact guilty of committing sexual harassment that violated the city, state, and federal criminal statutes. I mean, yes, it's not a grand jury, it's not a jury of his peers or anything like that, but to say this was some far-flung investigation that had no merit is just absurd. We're not talking about one woman who might have mistaken a glance or a look or a comment. These are accusations that were substantiated, 11 women who in some cases were actually groped. You know, good luck to Governor Hochul, and really, genuinely good riddance to Andrew Cuomo.
Here he is, the former, I guess we could say former now, governor of New York State, praising his handling of COVID, Joe, which, I mean, the gall for this one I thought was pretty amazing even for him.
Please don't forget what we learned together last year. And don't forget what we accomplished. We went from the highest infection rate in the nation to the lowest. We did what no one thought could be done. Why? Because when the rest of the nation put their head in the sand and denied science and played politics, we faced up to the facts. And we made the tough but necessary decisions.
Really? I mean, sending people's grandparents back into nursing homes when they had COVID to infect other people's grandparents and have the highest death rate per capita, New York and New Jersey, this area, any place in the whole country. Those were the tough calls. I mean, I feel like tough doesn't mean what he thinks it means.
There is no handicapping of the performance of America's elected leaders that puts Governor Cuomo anywhere near the top of the COVID response department. And I'll be objective. There are some Democrats, I think, who did a good job. There are some Republicans, I think, who did a good job. But to say that this person who has objectively the worst record on COVID and has statistics that are directly attributable to his nursing home scandal just really, really makes the gall that much more nauseating. You know, and a lot of it, to some degree, could be forgiven if it wasn't for his own self-aggrandizement. Obviously, we have the book deal, but even before the corrupt book deal, you have to remember, this is a guy who basically had state artists like do this giant poster commemorating his success. I mean, this is what a sick person does. A sick person, or maybe Mao Zedong or Pol Pot, those are people who commission government artists to write celebratory posters of themselves and have them hung up around the state. I mean, it's just insane. This is a guy who really knows no bounds. He has no concept of his own standing with his own constituents. He has no concept of his own culpability of his actions. And, you know, he's someone who thought the rules didn't apply to him. Remember, if you were his friend or family, you got that necessary COVID test. If you were one of the people in nursing homes, there wasn't enough of you. It's just sick, Buck. And like I said, I wish Kathy Hochul all the luck in the world. A year from now, we'll be talking politics about the governor's race, and I'll be against her. I'm with Lee Zeldin, and he's a great choice. But just thankfully for the people of this state, it's a new day, and good luck to the new governor.